Alright, I know this video is a bit late, had a few things come up, plus some other videos to put out, but now is the time for, as you've probably seen in the title, let's talk about that Gotham Knights trailer. Now, interestingly, I mean, I've seen most of it, but apparently this trailer's longer, so I saw the clips of it before the CW uploaded like an even longer trailer, so this isn't even a reaction really, because I have seen most of it, but I thought it'd be fun anyway to sit through it, show you guys, or should I say let the trailer speak for itself, and just get into why I just don't think this looks that great, or at least isn't for me. Yeah, we're gonna get into it, but let's first, you know, have a look to see what Gotham Knights for the CW is offering for your TV screen.
There are 30 other rooms in this place to hook up.
Mom, I swear we were just talking.
Hooking up in Wayne Manor, I guess.
Carrie, we have a drink together?
Right,
Carrie
sorry.
Kelly.
Oh, somebody broke into the good
House
stuff.
party.
Is Dad gonna be okay with that?
I don't think you'll miss it.
There's Bruce.
It's a questionable choices. Everybody relax. I got this.
Harvey. Turner, it's your father. He's dead.
How did Batman
I
die?
have to ask you, did you know he was Batman?
I don't like that. Like the way, like you'll see it pop up.
Secret any longer must be a relief.
Yeah, that's what I'm feeling.
This is
My father believed that each of us could become a light and bring a new
this
dawn
is
to
Riverdale
Gotham.
in Gotham. I'm telling
Can't
you.
imagine what you must be going through. I am gonna find who did this.
It's just the latest in an epidemic of violence since the demise of the Dark Knight.
To wonder who will protect Gotham now that Batman is dead.
We have 3 suspects in custody.
Now they're gonna sell the characters to you.
That's not what happened.
We were paid to break into his office, not kill him.
It's like a museum had sex with a bank vault.
You're just trying to get us to turn on each other.
My brother.
The Batman thing that popped
I'm trying
up
to get the
just
truth.
looks awful.
Are you really the Joker's daughter?
I would like to speak with my legal counsel.
And you shouldn't have shot her in her kneecap.
Turner, there's one more suspect.
They think I killed my dad because I wanted his money?
Hey,
Solid evidence.
sorry.
Oh, look. It's
CW music comes on.
We didn't kill you.
They don't
God
care
damn it.
if we're innocent. Time to pick a side.
There it is.
What the hell are you doing?
Well, I'm trying to get these cuffs
Right.
undone, and it's not working.
Okay.
Colin and Harper had no problem getting theirs off.
Oh dear. What? Better watch out, Mr. Cop. What's the...
He's in on it.
Yeah.
They all are.
You just made my job easier.
Carrie Kelly going ham?
Who the hell are you?
Carrie Kelly?
Wait, I know you. From Trey.
So you knew my dad was Batman.
I became his eyes and ears. Called me his little Robin.
We can't prove we're not killers by killing someone. We have to stick together. Find who really
These are
killed
the
my
bits I
dad
haven't seen.
and clear our names. Because we all deserve justice.
You
Hunt
or
down
justice.
these fugitives.
They'll be looking for us in every alley, every dark corner of the city.
Okay.
There's one thing they don't have.
It's the Batcave. It's very, very Batwoman in that way. That. Oh. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, tell me, you brought the Batmobile, right?
No. My mom's car.
Brum brum.
Gonna be a tight squeeze.
I call shotgun!
I'm not even trying to be comedic. Like, again, I'm not one of those channels who likes to dunk on, oh, the CW, oh, you know, oh, like, oh. Again, as I always say, don't you think this would only be beneficial for my channel if I was to get really behind it, you know, because I've got quite a big Bat audience. But that doesn't look good. Like, fair enough if you like the look of that. Nobody's going to take that away from you, and I don't think anyone should. Like what you like. That's something that shouldn't really need to be said, but just from my perspective, I don't really want to make an ad populum of, oh, a lot of people are saying the same thing, but just to be on the record here, it's, you know, to state the facts, a lot of people don't seem to like this, at least from what I'm saying on Twitter. Not to bolster my own opinion up, it's just the general consensus is that people don't like the look of that. You know, CW took one step forward with Superman and Lois. I 100% agree with that. And we are going to get into the breakdown, if you will, momentarily. But then, I feel like with Naomi and now Gotham Knights, Superman and Lois, it just had something to it. And I know people who watch it know what I mean, where it's just, again, maybe not even one step forward, a couple of steps forwards than that of The Flash and the other old Arrowverse shows. It felt like it found a new kind of quality. But then you come and deliver us something like this, and it's just, look, fair enough if you like Riverdale. Stuff like this I can see being appealing to a certain audience. But personally, Riverdale isn't up my street. This kind of reminds me of like a Riverdale vibe. You know, the very flamboyant kind of campiness. And I don't want to just say Riverdale there because a lot of CW trailers go, how in the trailers themselves and even the episodes, but you don't see Superman and Lois doing that. So I don't. That's something I do want to point out here. You release a show like Superman and Lois, and you don't get the why do that with your new shows? Like, it's such a shame because it could be good. And we're about to get into why I don't think it's good, but like, I'm just talking about an overall consensus here and tone. I've already mentioned in my previous Gotham Knights videos and coverage that it does seem to be taking a few cues from Batwoman. What did Batwoman share in common with Gotham Knights? Oh, Batman's missing. In this, Batman isn't missing, he's dead, but let's just, for all intents and purposes, say the same thing. Batman was in the city, Batman is no longer in the city, and will not be returning to the city throughout the whole show's duration, most likely. Right? So Gotham is without a protector. You know, Ruby Rose is Batwoman, but for all intents and purposes, let's not, you know, talk about which Batwoman. The point is Batwoman came in, right? In this, the Gotham Knights will come in. But yes, predominantly they're trying to make it seem like it's a bit of a different story, which, you know, to give them something, like, I guess they're accused of the crime. But if we cut to the chase, I'm sure once they prove their innocence, this, that, or the other, like, they're not gonna let Gotham go unprotected. So again, cutting to the chase, I'm sure they will become the Gotham Knights and not only you know, foil the mystery of actually who killed the Batman in this iteration, but the commonalities here are Batman missing, Batwoman, Batman gone in Gotham Knights, Gotham new protector or protectors in this case. And you know, just kind of, again, it's not a true copy and paste, but following that same formula of like, oh, no Batman. Again, I'm not saying Batman's invincible, but I hope the reason they come up with in this is good. Because Batman just dying in that suit that you're seeing on screen with the god-awful cowl. I think a lot of us thought the Fox's Gotham suit was bad. But what is that? Honestly, I don't like going too harsh in my videos because I like to think I'm quite polite. But then there's these kinds of videos that I few and far between get to, and it's hard for me to not be candid. Again, I will always be candid. I'm never going to shill anything. I will always try and be, well, I'll always, not try, but will maintain my integrity. And here, I have to call it how I see it. What is this? Also, what's with the blood on the face? Again, I don't want to get too nitpicky because you can have an amazing show with shitty looking blood like this. But it's just more cherries on the cake. I don't know what this is. I'm almost cringing at my own self because, again, I don't like putting down things, but when this doesn't look good, I guess I just have to come out and say it. Like, Bruce Wayne dying there, I don't know why his cowl is on him when he's in, like, a suit at an event. By the way, considering Misha has already revealed that, you know, he's Harvey Dent in this, not Two-Face, but, like, after a year, like, he's gonna be Harvey Dent for a year and then be Two-Face, I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of this season, like, they find out that Harvey, Bruce's friend, stabbed him in the back, like literally killed him, and somehow becomes Two-Face when all of this gets revealed. I could be wrong about that. Do not quote me on that. I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't be surprised if the story isn't much more sophisticated than that, because we know that Misha's Harvey will become Two-Face. We know that. Like, literally, we know that. It's just, it will happen, I guess, after a year, as was stated. That could line up with the end of the season's episodes, maybe. And it's just weird in of itself. I'm all for innovation, I guess, but there's a line between innovation in adaptations and deviation. So, considering the fact that the Batman died and Harvey Dent isn't even Two-Face in his career, like, he's already dead, like, he's not even Two-Face, That's just another weird one to bear in mind. I think Misha is great. I've been a fan of his for many, many years now. Admittedly, it has just been through Supernatural, but even outside that, seen plenty of podcasts with him. He's told many fascinating stories about his life. So like, I'm a fan of him in not only Castiel in Supernatural, but also as a person. I get why he signed up to this. I'm sure it seems like a good project to him. He's also a very popular Batman character. He said himself, Warner Brothers seem to be putting a lot into this project. You got the costume designer apparently from Handmaid's Tale. You got other bits and bobs going on. And I'm sure, like, for all intents and purposes on paper, you got Danny Cannon helming the pilot. That's not really so much the issue. It's more like what the product is overall could have been something else other than that of your typical, oh, CW, thing, you know? Why not step it up to Superman and Lois level? Gotham Knights. That would have been pretty sick. Why does it have to be like a, oh? I mean, I get it. Maybe that is your audience. And let's not pretend all of the CW shows and any, like, whether it's movies, you know, from that of Star Wars to whatever, like, that's always the demographic. It's adults and kids, but this seems to just purely be for the audience, you know, doing the kind of fan cam edits and the zoom ins and the, do you know what I mean by those ones? Like, you know, it feels like distinctly for those people. Not that there's anything wrong with being that person. It's just not for me. You may love this shit because of that, but not me. Not me. And I think that's a shame. A big shame. At the very beginning, you know, this gives you kind of a vibe of, I can't say it'll give you a vibe of what the whole show is about because they will be fugitives, I suppose. So, you know, this house party in Wayne Manor, I don't necessarily think will be like every other episode. But, I mean, I guess when they clear their name, you know, they're going to be back in Wayne Manor, Turner Hayes. This is Turner Hayes, the adoptive son of Bruce Wayne. An original character, not Dick Grayson, not Damian Wayne, not even though Damian Wayne's actually his kid, but you get my point. I think due to Titans having Dick Grayson and things like that, they couldn't necessarily use Dick Grayson. That doesn't mean that they won't give a one-liner to be, oh yeah, Dick's out there in like Bloodhaven or something. But maybe not, because I would have thought he'd come back for Batman's death, unless they really want to say, oh yeah, he's too busy for that because of Bloodhaven. Either way, scrap all of that. Original character, probably going to have a bunch of various different character attributes from different characters of Robins, that is, in terms of Jason, Dick, Tim, etc., etc. Or they actually might just carbon copy Dick Grayson. That's yet to be seen. But to be fair, to give them some credit, who knows? They may make him quite an original new Robin, Turner Hayes. Now, people already kind of getting together in the house party in Wayne Manor. Very teenagey kind of stuff. It's almost like Vampire Diaries Season 1, but even more teenager, I'd say. And yes, I watched that many, many years ago. Then we have Carrie Kelly catch the vase because, you know, she's Robin and she has good reflexes, I suppose, but, you know, he doesn't know that yet. And then we have Harvey Dent, of which I think is a really good casting, by the way, for Harvey Dent. Notify Turner Hayes of the Batman's death, or more, you know, in particular here, and we get a little shot of him on a painting, Bruce Wayne. I guess because he dies with the frickin' bat cowl on, which, again, I guess we can't judge too harshly because we don't know why he's got half a suit, half a cowl on. Maybe he was mid-change, I don't know, before he got killed. But he's dead, and that's being revealed to him, and Turner Hayes, for some reason, didn't seem to know that his dad was the Batman, which probably will play into a bit of his arc. Typically, you know, you will have his little Robin, Carrie Kelly, as revealed later on in the trailer, be literally Robin, but not your own eldest kind of adoptive son? You know, I kind of feel left out in a lurch here. Why didn't you trust me, Dad? Kind of thing. Honestly, wouldn't be surprised if there's some kind of letter left behind as well, like, in case I ever die, Turner. Just know that I always loved you, and, you know, I didn't tell you about Batman because I just wanted you to have a different... I don't frickin' know, but again... Wouldn't be surprised if there's some tropey things in there. Again, there's something so sussy about Harvey here. Like, I could be wrong, but I really feel like he's the one who killed Bruce. Maybe they're really good friends in this, like they sometimes are in the comics, and he trusted him, but he got stabbed. Maybe Harvey here is already having some Two-Face aspects to him for some reason, even before his scarring. God knows what they're gonna go with here, but something seems up with Harvey. I could be wrong, though. He is, like, the kind of antagonist in a way of speaking because he is after the fugitives, but that could just be because he really believes that they could be suspects. But then again, he could also be pursuing it because he wants to get any and all attention. Let's just assume, very much so assume, this speculation is true, that he did kill Batman, hey, let's get like all eyes on them rather than me. We get some kind of preppy school kind of drama here between that guy who was at the party. It's just like, it's like Turner Hayes' own little Tommy Elliot. I don't know. Now that the Bat is gone, while criminals are just tearing around the streets, it's just very... Even in presentation, by the way, and I don't want to sound too harsh here, but like, you know, with the actors, the background stuff, the news presenter, it just feels... I don't want to quite call it fan filmy, but it's almost like a slightly higher grade. There's something about it that doesn't really come across like... I can't attribute this to every single scene, but it just doesn't feel real. It kind of feels like that news anchor there is just a fake news anchor, like saying this for the show. You're meant to be engrossed and suspend disbelief, but I can't really, with quite a few shots in the trailer, for what it's worth. Also, just for what it's worth, I had that same kind of vibe from Naomi. A lot of the production and scenes with that, it just felt like... I know I'm supposed to be watching an episode of TV right now, but there's something about it that feels like... Again, it would be a very high-graded student fan, like, film kind of thing. But at times, I see the cracks in there. Then we have the suspects in custody. That's where you meet Harper Row and Cullen Row. We've already read out descriptions for them. You also have Duella Dent, meant to be Harvey Dent's daughter. I think that might actually be maybe a surprise in this show, because the character description says, you know, abandoned by her father, and in the comics and in the source material, she's Harvey Dent's daughter. But here... I don't know if it's meant to be a surprise and they're like, hey, you're my daughter, you're the one I walked away from? They're asking, like, are you really the Joker's daughter? And that's, you know, one of Duella Dent's aliases, but she's also gone by quite a few others. Here, again, it seems like they're, like, putting a few things out there, like she's just kind of a bit more of a troubled teen. Hey, maybe I've done this before. Hey, maybe I've done that. She's meant to be a bit more of the Alice-y type one, if you know what I mean. Do you see what I mean by the edginess? Like, I would like to speak to my legal counsel, and then, like, the cop replies, well, maybe you shouldn't have shattered her kneecap. So there's that. And then, when Turner eventually gets put away as the last suspect by the sounds of it, because they think he might have wanted Bruce's money, even though I guess he would have inherited it anyway. I don't know. That's when he meets the other Gotham Knights, and then they all bust out of a transport. Again, this is when, just the, oh, I'm sorry, but you can really probably tell by now, that doesn't make a trailer cool. It just doesn't. Editors, please stop doing that. Like the, oh, that makes me more all of a sudden, like, into it. And then we have this cop who clearly is kind of a bit dark, because when they're getting out and breaking out, he gets the drop on them saying, you've made my job a bit easier. So he's basically saying he's going to shoot them and he's going to blame it on him getting attacked, which obviously, you know, he has the drop on him, so he could just keep them arrested. So it just kind of shows you that he's one of those GCPD cops who'll be like, right, you've just given me the excuse to shoot you. Bang! But before that really happens, Carrie Kelly comes in with that kind of batarang. That doesn't look too bad, I suppose. The thing that kind of reminds me of like a Walmart toy, like going down one of the, you know, like one of the toy aisles, and you're like the latest Batman toy. I don't know why that Bat Bomb just reminds me of that. It's like, hey, buy the latest Bat Bomb, $12.99, and here's, you know, it's got a little cardboard box around it. Carrie Kelly here introduces herself. She's, you know, a bit of the younger Robin. This will be at the point in the story where she just knows they didn't kill Batman. There's probably something that she knows that was sus, or the days or weeks leading up to Bruce's death, he was acting a bit strange. He said something, you know, that kind of vibe. Could be wrong about that, but there's obviously a reason why she's going through the extent of making sure they don't go to prison or anything like that, or to Blackgate or wherever they were headed. Turner Hayes is the one keeping everyone in line, because we see someone put the gun up to someone else. Might have been Duella. She's like, we do not prove that we're not killers by killing someone. I'm just worried about a lot of logical leaps in this and just stupid character decisions, because maybe one character like Duella might be really edgy and is being kept in line by, well, I almost said Dick Grayson there, but Turner Hayes. I can just see how that's going to go for a few of the characters. I believe Cullen and Harper Row could perhaps be a bit more street savvy, especially compared to that of Turner. Turner's probably the most, like, newbiest, but the one who has the most level-headed kind of aspect quality to him, the leadership quality. And their secret weapon is the Batcave, so I guess they have to go back to Wayne Manor to sneak in there, and I guess they got to operate out of there. I don't know. I mean, that's fair enough. because it's not like the Batcave is in Wayne Manor, so once they're there and they're hidden. I don't like how this cow just comes out as if like it's really cool and meant to be like as if Batman would present that, because that looks really bad. So I'm not going to do any more like breakdowns of the scenes in that trailer. Having just gone through it again, it just... I know for a fact this will appeal to people, but I think in like the grand scope, if you zoom out of the map, video game style, and you're looking at like what you're dealing with on the CW, and now that they brought another show like this, I think people, of course, some people would expect that of the CW because there's lots of people turned off the CW because they produce shows that a lot of people view as cringy. And then when this one comes out with the how like kind of vibe to it, it's like, here we go again, right? But then there's people like me who want to have faith in the CW to produce good shows. And they clearly do with Superman and Lois. Like, I will stand by that. Like, watch Superman and Lois season 1 and tell me that that is not better than that of what bloody The Flash puts out these days. Like, it's the last show that I really watched, unless you count Stargirl, but again, I credit that to DC Universe because that came from the DC Universe streaming service and it's just been like brought over to the CW network. So yeah, like I know for a fact with Superman and Lois, they can do good shows, but like I'm so over these kind of cheese-inducing shows, and yeah, sure, like, don't watch it then, Boba, some people might say. I won't. Like, I'll probably review the first episode or something, because people will want to hear my thoughts on it, and hey, if I love it, I'll review it, but, you know, X'd out, so to speak. Nothing about this draws me in, and that's coming from a huge Bat fan, and... to anyone who wants to argue, like, oh, you know, you clearly just aren't, you know, you're getting older, this isn't your kind of show or something. No, because look at Superman and Lois. I watch it on the CW, I cover it every week. It's, I clearly can like the things they put out. It's just this with what they're bringing out. So ultimately, in conclusion, the show will have its fans. It will have its stans. It will have like this fan pages who make GIFs of it. Fair enough. And I'm sure there's people who will enjoy the show. But I think the CW needs to start broadening its horizon, break up that formula a bit, like they did take a couple of steps forward with Superman and Lois, and make shows on that level where you actually change it up from that of the kind of typical Arrowverse formula and the way like they orient those shows episode to episode and tonally as well. Like Superman and Lois isn't cheesy, it's quite plot driven, there's little filler, like it's quite engaging consistently. This kind of looks like one of those typical Arrowverse shows of the years since, and that's not really, let alone with copying one of the founding plot points of Batwoman with a Batman gone missing. I don't know, I think people after having many years of the Arrowverse now, even though this isn't in the Arrowverse, by the way, but just to put it generally, are looking for like an upgrade. You know, when you go from like a console to the next console generation, like a PS2 to a PS3, or an Xbox to an Xbox 360, those next-gen graphics were big upgrades. Like, they were noticeable. Like, you expect that kind of decadely, like, oomph, right? CW just doesn't make that. They made like a PS3 Slim, I guess you could say, with Superman and Lois, even though I want to give it more credit than that. But where's the next gen upgrade? They're not doing it. They're just putting out the same old stuff, and it's just, yeah. So I'm gonna shut up about this now. I've been talking way too long about it. Just kind of going to repeat myself even more at this point. Let me know what you think of Gotham Knights. What did you think of that trailer? Do you have hope for it still? But anyway, guys, like this video if you did enjoy it. Especially if you got this far. Do subscribe for more videos of all kinds of other things. We cover a lot of things on this channel. Links, as always, are in the description down below. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a lovely rest of your day. And I'll see you, Gotham Knights, I guess, in the next video. Goodbye.